Man, when you really dig into it, the golden age of Hollywood it was kind of wild, right? Like, we talk about the glamour, the big stars, but the mechanics behind it all, like the actual system, was just something else.
Oh, absolutely, Mark. I mean, when we say studio system, we're not just talking about, a bunch of film sets. We're talking about these massive, almost industrial complexes. Think of MGM, Warner Bros., Paramount. They owned everything, like from the actors to the directors, the writers, the sets, the actual theaters where the movies were shown. It was vertical integration on steroids, basically. They controlled the entire process, top to bottom. It was their universe, and everyone else just, existed in it.
So, like, if you were an actor, you were essentially owned by them? Your whole career was, like, mapped out? They could just tell you what to do, what to say, who to date even?
Pretty much, yeah. It's wild. Actors signed these long-term contracts, sometimes for 7 years, and they were exclusivity clauses everywhere. The studio could loan them out to other studios, and the actor had, no say in it. They manufactured personas, too. Like, if you were a wholesome girl-next-door type, you stayed that type. Deviating could literally cost you your career. They controlled your public image, your private life. Everything was, meticulously curated. It's pretty intense when you think about it.
Wow. So it really was less about artistic freedom and more about, like, creating a product, a brand, like a human brand almost. I mean, did any stars, ever push back against that, or did they just accept it as the price of fame?
Oh, some definitely tried. Bette Davis, for example, she famously tried to break her contract with Warner Bros. In the 30s. She wanted better roles, more control, But she lost the lawsuit. The courts upheld the studio's power. It really cemented that idea that, the studio owns the star. But that didn't stop her from being difficult and demanding. She knew her worth, even if the legal system didn't quite see it that way at the time. It was a constant push and pull, a real power dynamic thing. They created these larger-than-life figures, but those figures were also, in a way, trapped.
Huh. Fascinating. So they're creating these iconic images, these legends, but behind the scenes, it's just this incredibly, restrictive environment. It's almost ironic, isn't it?
Totally. And that control extended to how they presented films, too. Block booking was a massive thing. To get a big blockbuster, theaters had to also take a bunch of lesser films from the same studio. It ensured their entire slate got distribution. It was brilliant business, but really stifled independent cinema and choice. The audience just got what the studios fed them. It was a completely different landscape.
Yeah, and speaking of control, we can't talk about the Golden Age without mentioning the Hays Code, right? That was like another layer of restriction on top of everything else. It dictated what could and couldn't be shown.
Oh, the Hays Code was massive, Mark. It was the Production Code Administration, run by Will Hays initially. It was self-censorship, essentially, to avoid government interference. No nudity, no excessive violence. You couldn't show illicit relationships in a positive light. Even swearing was out. Even a married couple couldn't be shown in bed together. One foot had to be on the floor. It sounds kind of ridiculous now, but it had a profound impact on storytelling. Writers and directors had to get incredibly creative to imply things without actually showing them.
So, like that famous scene in Casablanca where Rick and Ilsa are clearly in love but can't be together. Or, the way they hinted at things in those old screwball comedies. A lot of that was a direct result of the code trying to keep things pure.
Exactly. It forced a certain kind of sophistication in a weird way. Filmmakers had to rely on dialogue, subtext, subtle gestures. Think about something like Gone with the Wind. Scarlett O'Hara's character was pretty scandalous for her time, but they navigated it within the code's limits. And the iconic line, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn," actually caused a huge stir because damn was technically forbidden. They fought hard to keep it in because, like, it was so essential to the character. It was a constant battle, you know.
It's wild how much those restrictions actually shaped the art, isn't it? But, we always talk about the big names, the iconic films. What about the forgotten legends or the unscripted stories from the era that often get overlooked? Like the little bits of trivia that really peel back the curtain.
Oh, there are so many, Mark. I love these. Like, did you know that Walt Disney actually had a real temper? People tend to think of him as this benevolent figure, but he was a tough, demanding boss. Or take character actors. They were the backbone of so many films, but rarely got star billing. Someone like Thelma Ritter, for instance, a phenomenal talent. She was nominated for 6 Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actress, but never won. She was in everything, you know? All About Eve, Rear Window. She made every scene sparkle, but her name isn't like front and center in the history books.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. You see those faces and you recognize them instantly, but you don't necessarily know their names. It's like they were the essential ingredients that made the stew taste good, but they weren't the main dish.
Exactly. And sometimes the stories about specific films are just wild. Like the set of The Wizard of Oz was notoriously dangerous. Buddy Ebsen, the original Tin Man, had a severe allergic reaction to the aluminum dust in his makeup and had to be replaced. Margaret Hamilton, the Wicked Witch, suffered severe burns when a special effect went wrong. It wasn't all glamorous, you know? There was real grit and quite a bit of danger behind those magical stories.
Man, that's intense. It really makes you appreciate those films on a whole new level. So, given all this incredible history of control and craftsmanship, how do you think it, still impacts cinema today? Do we see echoes of the golden age in modern Hollywood?
Oh, absolutely, Mark. The legacy is everywhere. Think about the concept of star power. It started then, and while actors have more agency now, a big name can still open a movie. And the genre conventions, many were solidified during that era. The musicals, the film noir, the screwball comedies, they laid the groundwork. Even the idea of a franchise or a cinematic universe can trace its roots back to studios churning out sequels with the same stars. They built brands around characters and actors, and we're like totally still doing that now, just with different tech, you know?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like Marvel movies, they're kind of their own studio system in a way, with interconnected stories and actors under long-term contracts for multiple appearances. It's pretty wild to see those parallels.
Totally. And the conversation about creative control versus studio interference, that's an age-old battle that absolutely began in the Golden Age. Directors fight for final cut, writers want their vision respected. So while the specific mechanics have changed, the fundamental tensions and the ambition to create compelling stories, they're like always there. It's why digging into these unscripted stories, I think, is just so vital. It really shows us where we came from and how far we've come, too.